Will history repeat? Oh man, if so, let me tell you, you're going to be rolling in the dough. You're going to have so much money, you're not even going to know what to do with it. Okay, I'm being a little facetious here, but I do want to admit something. I actually have a lot of bullish charts, bullish on-chain analytics that I would say if we are to look at all this data and make a conclusion, we should be bullish right now. There's no denying that. And so we're going to dive on into that soon, but do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and leave a comment in the comment section, all for the algorithm. But let's start with Mr. Crypto, the biggest bull on X. If history repeats here, Trump is about to crash the dollar and make us all rich, which, all right. Crash the dollar and make us all rich. Okay, that's kind of an odd way of putting things. If the dollar crashes, then sure, things will go up in comparison to the dollar. Okay, does that equate to lots of wealth? Well, sure, if you're a Bitcoin holder, yes. But look at, interesting, this is an interesting comparison. Q1 after Trump takes office in 2017, what do we have? Bitcoin just kind of chopped around, really. I mean, it closed a little bit higher than the open to that quarter, and the DXY started descending a little bit, and then look at the remainder of 2017, the DXY moved down significantly, and the price of Bitcoin moved up aggressively. Now, will the rate of that return for Bitcoin over the remainder of this year be what it was in 2017? I find that highly doubtful. That would put us at something like $500,000 to $600,000 at the end of this year. I am not a believer in that, but hey, it does. There are some similarities to pay attention to. The DXY is in a downtrend. It is moving down. Bitcoin tends to thrive in a downward move of the DXY. And so, hey, I'm with Mr. Crypto at least for the next month, maybe 2 months, something like that. And then we'll see about after that. But sounds good. Sounds good. Another bullish thing to look at from Cyclop here. Now is the clearest bull setup in my 7 years of crypto. What are the factors into that? Okay, Bitcoin near all-time high. Yes, correct. Bitcoin is near its all-time high. Retail interest is near an all-time low. I would also agree with that. ETH Bitcoin broke a 3-year downtrend. Now this is the thing that's sticking out to me. This is, if you look at any ETH Bitcoin chart, what we should at least expect, I mean, you can see his ETH Bitcoin chart here. You should at least expect a retrace, at least expect some kind of a dead cat bounce in the ETH Bitcoin chart. Now that we've broken that downtrend, we've broken that aggressively. I've seen lots of charts with this arcing pattern here, and then a very convincing breakout of that downtrend. So what does that mean? I mean, right now we're at what, 0.025 ETH per Bitcoin, or Bitcoin per ETH? Yeah, Bitcoin per ETH, 0.025. Could that at least get to 0.5 where Ethereum doubles its price in Bitcoin? Should it? Under normal circumstances, yes, it should. I would say circumstances are a little bit abnormal right now. That this is not the kind of environment where crypto has done what it's done in the past. But if we're going to just do something here, then this is very favorable for alt season, for an alt moment at least happening right now, that we would be in the middle of an alt moment. But moving on, what are you guys doing? LOL, Maximilian. This is actually another thing that I would say is quite bullish. And this tweet was May 14th, 2 days ago at 12:47. And what are you looking at here? You're looking at, when you see these negatives here, you're looking at more shorting interest than longing interest. And there is right now on Bybit, on HTX at least, there's more shorting interest. And the fact that even there is any negative in this is a sign that people are still not believing in this Bitcoin rally, that they're still trying to take it to capitalize on the possibility that we are in a bear market, that this is just a dead cat bounce, that something. Whenever you see any negative between BitMEX, Binance, Bybit, OKX, and HTX, there is still some level of disbelief, which means that the powers that be have more of an incentive to price out the shorts, to make money off of the shorts than they do off the longs. There's always opportunities to make money off of longs. There are not as many opportunities to make money off of shorts for the market makers. So moving on, altcoin season index versus Bitcoin. This is actually not the chart that I want to look at, but you can see up here 31 out of 57 altcoins outperformed Bitcoin in the last 60 days. So even if Bitcoin dips at some point, there's a strong chance many altcoins have already found their bottom. Now's the time to scout promising projects and take bolder bets on altcoins. This right here is the thing that I wanted to actually look at. Look at this chart and look at who's number one. Pepe. Believe it or not, Pepe is number one on this list. And then there's an interesting combination of cryptos here. Not as many, I don't think they actually have all that many meme coins available for this chart. But number 2 is EOS. And number 3 is Rune. Oh my goodness. I mean, 2 cryptos that I would have never even considered looking at. Number 4 makes sense. You have Sui, and then you have some AI coins, Fetch and Render, and then Maker. Wow, okay, that's dinosaur for sure. STX, Cake, Sushi, Ethereum, Doge, AVAX, Solana, et cetera, et cetera. And then here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin has increased in the past 60 days by 24%. And then there's several other ones that have not seen that, have not increased as much. And then even some that have dumped, that have gone down. What's up with Neo? Is that Neo? Wow, Neo's down. Oh, all right. I thought that said 71% and 7.1%. Okay, that is more acceptable. And I think Neo actually did well earlier this year. Not sure, not going to look at it. I don't care. But this is really interesting to look at. You see how many cryptos have outperformed Bitcoin recently. And so altcoin season has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Or we could just say an altcoin movement has arrived. Would be great if it was altcoin season. Glassnode here. After a period of stagnation in April, Bitcoin's realized cap has added nearly 30 billion. That is the realized cap. That is the selling cap, the average price of each Bitcoin, the last that it was sold. It has added nearly 30 billion, growing at 3% monthly, while the uptick confirms renewed capital inflows. The pace still lags behind the aggressive accumulation seen in November, December, which should make sense, right? This was a very strong belief rally. We were just of this mindset of, okay, Donald Trump, he won. Everything's going to be amazing, and the markets are going to pump, and that's what happened. It was buy the election, sell the inauguration kind of scenario. This rally, in comparison, is more of a fear-based rally, of a, what's the word? You climb the slope of disbelief, a disbelief rally, and maybe it will continue. But for us to expect it to continue at the rate that we saw in November, December, that's not realistic. But it is a good thing. We're certainly seeing a climb in that. And so where do we go from here? I don't know. I mean, I'm not expecting aggressive moves up like what we saw in November, December over the rest of the month, but this is another bullish thing to take into consideration. Moving on, we have from Swissblock here, Bitcoin isn't just rallying, it's compressing in tight ranges after every leg higher. This rally, pause, compress pattern is textbook bullish architecture. No overextension, no force corrections. The next leg could hit harder. And so this is just, it seems like this is our thing right now, So this is, would you be willing to wait for this though? Because, all right, this is not going to continue forever, obviously not. And we could be near a peak, but, comment here, it's called Wave 3, bro. Consolidation, this goes back to 2023. Wait a second. This does not go back to 2023. Where does it? Oh, this is very recent. Excuse me. Forgive me. I thought this was the chart that I was expecting. And then, but here we go. Yeah, we were around $84,000. I tweeted this out 2 days ago. We were hanging around $84,000. It looked like we were just stuck at $84,000. We pumped, and then it looked like we were just stuck at $94,000. And then we pumped, and now it looks like we're just stuck around, $103,000, $104,000. And then what comes next from this, I tend to agree with Swissblock, is another pump where we hang around new all-time high, 1 teens or something. I'm going to be pretty conservative at that time. I'm going to see what the market gives us and see what happens with altcoins. If Bitcoin dominance plummets really hard, we'll see. But this looks good. This looks strong. It looks bullish, and it looks like we're ready soon, maybe next week or something, for another move higher. Moving on, trader tardigrade. Bitcoin's peak to peak time interval is measured at 47 months. Each interval for Bitcoin includes a pullback, recovery, consolidation, impulse 1, and impulse 2. This pattern has repeated consistently, and we are now in the final phase, impulse 2, which could bring us huge gains. All right, sure. You know what? Maybe that's where we are right now. I tend to think I agree that is where we are, impulse 2. But I just want to point something out, being a little hopeful here, Trader Tardigrade, given the aggressiveness of what he's saying for Impulse 2, peak in October 2025. I mean, look at Impulse 2 in 2021. We peaked at $64,900 on April 14th of 2021, the day of the Coinbase IPO. We had that move, the dump after that. But we were still very bullish at that time. I was very bullish at that time in July of 2021 when Bitcoin was under $30,000 briefly. And then Impulse 2 just barely took us to a new all-time high, $69,000. And yet we have Impulse 1 here, we have the dip, and then Impulse 2 is going to take us to $140,000. Okay. But I mean, I see everything else that we're looking at here, pullback, recovery, consolidation, Impulse 1, Impulse 2, pullback, recovery, consolidation, Impulse 1, Impulse 2. Maybe that's how it's going to play itself out this time, but I am expecting more of a Impulse 2 that would align with what we saw in 2021. We shall see. So, and then peak October 2025, I mean, we'll see. I'm still in this process of working through some things, given the fact that we're right at a key test level with the S&P 500 and with the Dow Jones and with the NASDAQ. That at least the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are hanging around above their 200-day moving average as of right now. Is that going to remain the same? Is this going to be a V-shaped recovery similar to 2018? If so, then maybe I'd be more aligned with the 4-year halving cycle people with Bitcoin at least. But it's interesting times. We'll see in maybe a week or so. All right, moving on. More from Mr. Crypto. Blockchain-related mentions in SEC filings. Look at that. That's really fascinating to look at, that we have seen just more and more blockchain-related mentions in SEC filings, mostly Bitcoin, but, other things, blockchain, Ethereum, DeFi, cryptocurrency, others. So am I as bullish as Mr. Crypto here? This is just data, okay? He's saying the SEC is working harder on crypto now than they ever did before, which is technically true considering the fact that Gary Gensler was working very hard on crypto, but very hard to suppress it. Now they're in favor of it. So they're on our side now. Mass adoption is coming. All right, this can take much longer, okay, to play itself out than at least Mr. Crypto's timeline. It's something. Everything is something, right? Everything with the growth of blockchain technology, with increases in the price of Bitcoin, everything is something. But all right, let's chill out. This can take time to play itself out. Another Altseason. Are we getting ready for Altseason? Crypto Amsterdam here. The bull is mostly Bitcoin pumping, altcoin suffering. Only when Bitcoin starts its second leg to new highs historically, dominance drops and altcoins outperform, aka Altseason. It's close now. Do you believe? Sorry, I'm being lame here. All right. I like this chart in one regard. You can see certainly a trend that's potentially playing itself out here with this downward sloping line. And given the fact that altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin as much as they have, maybe we're ready. We're primed. I do want to remind you that this box in 2021, that was a matter of weeks. Okay, it wasn't a very long time, and especially this very aggressive move down in Bitcoin dominance, that was the funnest time, one of the funnest times as a crypto holder I ever experienced. I remember there was one month I made like $70,000, in a month. That was that month right there. So are we going to see something like that? You could also, and you could see these boxes, these green boxes are a little smaller. So even someone like Crypto Amsterdam, I think, is communicating that this alt season we're not going below 40%, which I tend to highly doubt that we're going to go below 40% this alt season, whatever this leg looks like, okay? I am thinking more in the 50s. I don't think, again, that the environment is more favorable, as favorable as it's been in the past for massive risk-off kind of movements. But, would I take a move down to the 40s? Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you, that would not be 2018 or 2021 levels of excitement, but that would be pandemonium. Just not as significant as 2021 or 2017. That would be huge. That would be altcoins exploding. That would be meme coins. And I'm just going to tell you now, that would be he going much, much higher. I mean, maybe like a 50x, honestly, in this scenario. Okay. So we'll see. I'm almost there, guys. I'm not there yet. I'm almost there in terms of perhaps the end of 2025 will be a peak, not the peak, but an exciting peak for Bitcoin and for altcoins. We'll see. We'll see what the market gives us over these next couple weeks here. Moving on, we have Bitcoin. Did you buy the dip? I hope you did. I mean, not really. I don't know. We can go lower, but Bitcoin at 102 and change. We have Bitcoin dominance at 62.85%. Don't you dare. Do not. Let's hope that wasn't a bottom there at a little under 62%. I mean, this is just a couple of green candles, a couple of daily green candles. Would love to see this continue to make its way down, but sure, go up, go make a higher low in Bitcoin dominance and then come right back down, please. We've been waiting impatiently. I can't say we've been patiently waiting. We have not been patiently waiting. I know you guys, okay? So most of us, I'll include myself, we have not been patiently waiting, but we have an opportunity here, and I don't think that opportunity is over yet. So what do we have? Fartcoin's not trending anymore. Huh. Okay, well, Launchcoin, I've heard a little bit of Launchcoin. We have Trump, Sky AI still trending on DexScan. And then a bunch of cryptos I've never heard of except for ATH, our trending coins on coinmarketcap.com. Fear and Greed at 71. Still have higher to go. Altcoin season index according to coinmarketcap.com. We got 26 out of 100. Okay. All right. Well, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.